Hello everyone, this is Ian Colling, Head Teacher. Welcome to our Information for Parents video for 2021. I'm going to cover these key areas in the course of this presentation, and then your child's head of year will then give you some details about the year ahead. Whilst the pandemic is far from over, this term does see the resumption of normal school practices. As you'll know from emails sent last term, the staggered breaks will continue at Magdalen, but everybody will now start school at 8:45 and finish at 3:10 each day. You'll see on the school's website the exact timings of the school day and what time lessons are and the year group break times. This is on the general section of the website under Key Information, School Day. Please do look at other areas of the school website, which we work very hard to keep up to date, so that you can see all the information that you need. Our intention is to provide an exceptional education for all of our students. Our vision sets this out in more detail, and it's divided into these key areas. You can find this under the general section of our school website. We wrote the vision following our Ofsted inspection, which took place in February of 2020, just before the first lockdown. And we've considered very carefully all the areas of the school's practices that we want to develop further to drive towards that exceptional education for all. What you'll find in that document is that we are now in year 2 of our vision implementation, and we're working hard during this year to continue the excellent work that was begun in the last academic year. Please take the time to read that and you will see the various different aspects of the work that we're developing. Right at the centre of our work is our curriculum, and this includes not just the subject curriculum but the wider development of our students, which includes all of their personal development, the pastoral care, personal social health education, careers advice and guidance, relationship, sex and health education, and also includes the educational visits and the extracurricular provision. Work will be done this year to re-establish some of that wider curriculum, much of which was put on hold because of restrictions caused by the pandemic. We aim to ensure that teaching continues to drive forward in practice and that the personal development and leadership underpin what we do in the school to ensure that all students are well supported and that the school is well led. Developing our staff is clearly pivotal to make sure that everybody who is new to the school understands their role in the school and the direction the school is travelling, but also that existing staff continue to develop their practices. Over the course of this summer, significant changes have taken place in our facilities. We're absolutely delighted that we've managed to open our new building, which is part of Wadham's and so is using that same name. It's where our music department is housed and where you'll also find lessons in history and also PCSHE. It's a fantastic new building and I hope that parents will have the opportunity to see that at some point during this year when you come in for parents' evenings or other evening events. The other areas that we've been working on are to develop our food technology rooms, and that work will continue this term. And we've also got repair work going on our roofs to replace many of the roofing areas to make sure that we have fewer leaks and that the building is fit for purpose as we enter the winter months. We're really grateful to our staff and the contractors for the hard work that they've been doing, and I hope that you will see significant changes and improvements in the premises as we go forward in the next few months. As I've mentioned, COVID is still present in our communities. We therefore need to adopt a proportionate approach to keeping ourselves safe. So my request to everybody is to undertake their own personal responsibility to undertake lateral flow tests to make sure that if you identify as having COVID, that you keep yourself in isolation. There is no longer a requirement for anybody to isolate who is living in the household of someone with COVID, and that includes anybody under the age of 18 or any adult who has had both jabs. In school, we will continue to ventilate the building periodically and to make sure that that is happening on a regular basis throughout the school day, and also to encourage everybody to adopt good hand hygiene. The wearing of masks is no longer a requirement. If people wish to wear masks to school, then they are welcome to do so, but it is not an expectation. We recognise that the effects of the pandemic have been very varied for different people, and some people may feel safer wearing a mask, or they may feel that they are at risk if they don't. That's their personal choice, and we respect that. But please be aware of the fact we will not be requiring everybody to wear masks unless our risk assessment suggests that the levels of the pandemic are too high and we need to take additional actions. We will, of course, pay heed to the government guidance as and when that changes as we go through this term and into the future. Our aim is to make sure we keep in regular contact with parents, as we have done over the last couple of years. We know that good communication is really effective, and it's important that everybody feels that they know what's going on in the school and they know where to get information that they need. Please use our website as the starting point for any questions that you may have. You may well find the answers on there. If that doesn't give you the answer that you need, then you will want to contact school, and here are some of the key people that you may wish to speak to find out specific information. In relation to pastoral support, your child's PSA is the starting point, the pastoral support assistant. Our colleagues in the pastoral team are not teachers, and therefore they're more likely to be able to speak to you on the telephone during the working day. Form tutors and leaders of learning are teachers, and so they will be teaching throughout most of the day. But if you can't get the information you need from the PSA, then they may well be the place to go as the next port of call. If you have subject-specific questions, please talk to subject teachers or to heads of relevant faculties, and the contact details of all of those people you will find again on the website. Members of the senior team are listed here with their key responsibilities, and again, contact details you'll see on the website. Please, to help us deal with your inquiry, try to contact the right person for the right sort of question, and in particular, try to avoid sending an email to lots of different staff, because that makes it much more difficult for us to manage in school. If you're unhappy with the response that you get when you speak to a member of staff and you haven't got the answer you need or the right solution, please do escalate and do speak to a member of the senior team. And if that still doesn't give you what you need, then please contact me as the head teacher. It's usually simple to find the information that you need, or to have something you're unhappy about resolved by talking to the key people that work closely with your child in the first instance. But I do know that sometimes people feel that they wish to share that more at a more senior level, and therefore you're invited to contact senior staff should that be necessary.
Oh, hello, this is Steve Reed here, and I'll talk you through the remaining slides. Please can I ask, so many of you have done so well already, that throughout the year, wherever possible, your child arrives on school, and encourage them to be prompt every lesson. Every minute that's lost can be disruptive for other children, so let's have all children in the classrooms on time, ready to learn, ready to go. Please ensure that you help them if they need help with organising their plan and equipment to every lesson. Too often children are forgetting bits and pieces that they need for the day, including some important equipment like PE kits or calculators, rulers, etc. Please do your part as well at home to ensure they are fully prepared. The uniform looks excellent so far, and can I just encourage everyone to ensure that they're wearing the shirts properly with them tucked in and ties done up to the top. Children should be completing the work to the best of their ability. From what I've seen so far, they've made a tremendous start, and it sometimes can be that as the term goes on, they get more tired, but please do encourage them to work as hard as they can in each lesson and to be organised in completing homework. I encourage them always to do their homework as soon as they get home and then have it packed in their bag, ready for it. We're encouraging manners and kindness again this year, as always, and I have to say the year 8's made a tremendous start so far. Students that demonstrate good behaviour are being rewarded in the following ways. Please do check Go for house points. You will probably be receiving praise emails home from teachers, postcards, certificates It normally happen during and towards the end of the year as well. There'll be house awards. That typically happens also towards the end of the year. Head teachers award is at the end of the year, but also praise phone calls from teachers if your child does something very, very well within the lesson. As to the uniform has looked really, really good. One or two sometimes wear the like aerosols with a Nike trainer. Those aren't permitted, but a plain black shoe makes them look the smartest, I think, ensuring they're not wearing black jeans. Blazers are always worn. We are fortunate to have lovely weather at the minute, and they are not wearing blazers because it's a bit of a heat wave going on. But going forward, making sure that the hoodies aren't being worn, and if they are, they're on top of the blazer. The boys' shirts should always be tucked in. Tensions have changed a little bit this year to incorporate the change in our style of lessons, and this is pretty much what they're going to be experiencing. If they forget a piece of homework, for example, or their behaviour didn't meet the expected standards, their teacher has 5 detentions they can set for them, which we call a show and go. That means they've had a learning conversation at the end of the lesson, they've spoken about where it's gone wrong, and they've told them what they need to do better next time. They can keep them for a part of their break time if they feel this is needed. When they have used those, or if their behaviour is such that it's deemed that that isn't enough, they will move on to have 8 30-minute detentions, which happen on a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or a Thursday at 8:20 after school. If they do all of those, it will then run to how they're able to have 12 one-hour detentions should they need it. And I'm sure I'm talking to most parents where none of this will be relevant, but they also happen Tuesday, Wednesdays and Thursdays after school. And failing that, it would move to head teacher detentions. The tutor time layout is as follows. Please do speak to your child about what they've been doing. I'm sure some, if they're anything like my teenage son, perhaps will be less forthcoming, but this is what goes on in tutor times during the week. Well, I've already spoke about lateness and the need to be on time. If they are, or they amass 10 minutes or more lateness per week, they will receive one of the 30-minute sanctions I just spoke about. This is for students that are literally deliberately being late. This isn't for children that have been delayed by a bus, have been stuck in traffic. No, this is for your persistent offenders, really. Please keep an eye on, apologies for the typo at the top, planner with 2 ends obviously. Please keep an eye out for the planner and page 2. This will be used this year more than last year because with COVID we didn't sign the planner as much, but now the planners are back in use. Please keep an eye out for page 2, in which any issues like forgetting the planner, incorrect uniform being worn, eating in the corridor, eating in classroom, anything such that will be recorded here. And this then joins on to the detentions, the 30-minute sessions if they have 3 or more signatures at the front of the planner. Showed you this slide last year, but it's just a reminder because much of it didn't happen with the library, unfortunately, and Homework Club unfortunately couldn't run. But this year it will be running. Homework Club Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday down in Learning Support. The library opens from 8 till 4, and I would encourage all children that struggle to get into good habits with homework to attend, and where there is support, so to make the most of that support that's on offer. Please check Go. You'll see at the bottom of this particular slide that we've got some homework sets. Please keep an eye on the homework. Please ensure they tick it as they complete it with an eye on the set date and the due date. The due date there on the left, please make sure they're meeting all deadlines. And finally, just for me, it's about getting those basics right. First impressions, you might think, well, they're not in year 7 anymore, but they are, well, they do have many new teachers that won't know them. So ensuring that they make very good first impressions with both good attitude, effort, appearance, so on and so forth, are vitally important. They will find that they've got new groups and new teachers this year, and some may not be in many groups with friends. They do obviously get time to see their friends before school, and that they're all having the same break times together, and of course after school as well. But please don't be surprised if your child comes and tells you they're not in a group with many friends. They are there to be focused and learning, and typically within seating plans anyway, they probably may not be sat near their friends anyway. So hopefully there aren't too many teething issues, but if there are, please let your tutors know. Social media and mobile phone habits come hand in hand, and sadly I have to tell you I spend a lot of my job dealing with these issues, and so it's a huge plea from me to all parents to please monitor incredibly closely the social media and the habits being done with teenagers' mobile phones. Many of them are not old enough to be on many of the social applications anyway, but when they find themselves on there, many problems then follow. So please keep a really, really close eye on what your child is writing and whether it is appropriate, because sadly, all too often, some of the issues I deal with are based outside of school where they're not appropriate. Please can I ask that you help me and check in with your child, what they're writing and to whom, and I would discourage them from being in any groups at all, because by and large they end up with somebody or more than one person saying things that they shouldn't be. Good routines, I've spoken about homework, but also good sleeping habits. Too often children come to school and they're too tired, and obviously their concentration suffers. So get into good sleeping habits. Children of this year 8, I believe, need to be going to bed at around 9 o'clock kind of time. Those that stay up till 10, 10:30, 11, often playing on their computer games again, do look half asleep, don't look really very focused in the mornings particularly. So please help your child by taking their phones off them at night times and getting them into those good routines. I've mentioned about checking homework and some of the behaviour things, and I've also said about good routines. I've also mentioned about planners with ensuring that please you keep an eye on them. Could you please sign them weekly and check homework? Homework is being recorded both on Go and in your child's planner, so we've got more than one way of making sure it is being set and they're recording it accurately. If you have any issues, please go to your form tutor. Depending on the severity, obviously I am also here and it can also get escalated to me. More than happy to help with any issues at all, but your first port of call is the form tutor, or if there's an issue with a certain lesson, please go to the classroom teacher who are very effective at responding. Typically I would expect you to probably receive a reply within 24 hours. If there's any issues, please let me know. Extracurricular is being relaunched now, and so please keep an ear out for all the different events that are going on. They're being shared in tutor time, but they'll also be shared on the school website. If you have any questions, please send it to general inquiries at magdalen.northants.sch.uk, quoting the year group. Thank you.